Hi, and welcome to the New Frontier Playbook. I'm Scott Phillips. I'm your host and also the author of a blog/book called The New Frontier Playbook. What is that about? It's about a bold future in space where millions of people are living and working either on a planet like Mars or in space, and it builds on the ideas offered up by people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and others before them. But it really focuses on the problem from a different perspective. It's a look at the political economics of how do we get there and what would it take to get public support and what's the case that has to be made. Now, why care? After all, NASA's going back to the moon already. They have the Space Launch System. They've already done a test flight. Astronauts have been named. The first mission is coming in just a couple of years. Elon Musk has SpaceX. They're moving forward with Starship, a massive rocket, and they're going to go to Mars. Why do they need help? Jeff Bezos has Blue Origin and is chasing a similarly reusable rocket and has a vision for millions of people living and working in space as well. So what can we offer that they don't have already? Well, I would submit that we're missing an ingredient. Each of these visions is going to require a massive amount of public funding. There's no way around it. No matter how rich Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos are, they're going to have to tap public funding to go out into space or to build any of these kinds of visions. And right now, the public does not have a rationale that they understand or are willing to support. And that's really what we're trying to explore in this book. Now, there is a contrary point of view. There's a case for not going into space. And if you start to look at the op-eds or what's out in the culture and the media, what people are saying, even in your own neighborhood and among your friends, you'll quickly find that people have concerns about investing large amounts of money in space. A couple of astronauts, a couple of missions to the moon or Mars, sure, but larger amounts, I think they have concerns, and it comes down to things like it's too expensive, or we have priorities here on Earth that have to be dealt with first. It's not big up on the list of those priorities. Things like climate change, or homelessness, or housing, war, poverty. I mean, it's a pretty big list of issues that we have to deal with here on Earth. And for many people, the idea of going out into space sounds a little bit wasteful or, not very thought well, does not help solve our problems here on Earth. Well, I'm going to make a case right now that there is a case for going into space and that it can help us solve our problems on Earth in a big way. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Here's the New Frontier Playbook's case for space. When I think about a case for space that's political and economic, the way I think about it is something that produces minimum wage jobs that pay $250 an hour, not $25 an hour, $250. Those jobs come with a 5-year contract and end with $1 million in personal savings. I think about an economy in space at large scale that operates at an exponentially higher level of prices and wages. I call that an economic conjugate. That results in a massive public return on investment, ROI, from the taxes and the fees that are generated by that economy. And because all those fees and taxes come back to Earth, I think of that result as a trifecta economy on Earth of low taxes, high benefits, and no public debt. That would kind of transform our politics. What would politicians have to argue about then? That economy drives a high growth economy that's more equal and has enough opportunity for everyone, which finances a full transition to a carbon-free economy, the elimination of all poverty, and the creation of modern institutions and services from higher education to healthcare that are affordable and accessible to everybody and the pride of everybody. That's what I think about when I think about the case for space. So that's our pitch, our case for space from the New Frontier Playbook. And for the record, that's a pretty good future if you can get it. And I think we can get it. Now, what's unique about the New Frontier Playbook is no one else is really talking about how we can solve earthly problems and why an economy in space might make sense. And that's the gap we're trying to fill. So if you're interested in these topics, we hope you'll come along for the ride because we're going to go explore this in depth through these video series, and you can also read it out at the blog. Now, there are some caveats. First, we could be wrong. These ideas could be silly or ridiculous or just completely wrong, either from economics or politics or technology. There could be a showstopper on one of those fronts that makes this completely infeasible. I don't think there is. We're in pretty good company with some of the richest people in the world and talking up these ideas. If there were a complete showstopper, one thinks it might have already come up. So what we're really trying to do is add to that debate. But the caveats are real, and we just don't know until ideas get discovered and discussed and kicked around. So the idea for this channel, the plan for this channel going forward, is to take some of the concepts that are embedded in the New Frontier Playbook and play them out as a series of videos. We'll explore the political economics specifically of what it looks like to build a market economy in space and to have millions of people living and working in space or on a planet like Mars. We'll cover the politics, the economics, the technology, and some of the cultural issues that are either helping or preventing us from getting to that future, and what it could mean and what we have in terms of a unique spin on it. Now, those ideas, we'll put them out there. You guys can look at them, discuss, provide some feedback. We'll see if they either float to the top. If they're good ideas, they'll rise. And if they're not good ideas, they'll just sink away into oblivion, and we will at least try. But overall, I think we'll just try and keep it lighthearted, fun and engaging, and try to explore concepts together and see what you think. This is really an attempt to share out these ideas and get them out in play and in discussion. So that's really the heart of what the New Frontier Playbook is, what the plan for this channel is. And I'm going to end with request for support. First, subscribe. It's really easy and it's free to subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends if who are interested in this topic to go ahead and do so as well. You can read ahead at newfrontierplaybook.com. It's free. Check it out. Look at the content. It's not organized in the same way as the content will be in the video series. And the site is kind of modest. Sorry, it's a WordPress site. Best I could do on a limited budget. You're welcome to sign up if you can for the email distribution lists. There's not really a newsletter. It's really just there intentionally to collect names and see if I can convince a future publisher with a list to say there are people willing to buy the book if you publish it. Last, you're welcome to buy the author a beer. There's a donate function. Certainly much appreciated and stuff. And even more important, if anyone knows Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, we would love to have their support. Write the foreword to a future book, or just kick these ideas around and see if they survive the beating. Anyway, that's it for the New Frontier Playbook. I'm Scott Phillips, and we're signing off. Thank you for joining us. Come back and join us for the series.